Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to Chronicle. Where last we left off, our party was still split at the start, with Krugar going up against a new mentor figure of some sort to him, known as Igrisa, the Omen Killer. You guys fought for a little bit, you came close to falling unconscious, but you were healed, and you guys spoke a little bit, found out some more about some Grothkin clans and what you might want to do in the future. You guys then rejoined as a party in Wulfric's shop, who is a local explosive expert and enchanter of some sort with magical items. You guys had a discussion about some contracts that you might look at in the future to create a deal of some sort. You also learned a little bit about some of the other things that you might have missed traveling your way to run along, like the war that has just been instated between the Prussian Empire, which you guys are in currently, and the Kingdom of Acheron. You learnt a lot about the law in general of Runalom and some leads that you guys could follow to learn some more about how you might be able to get access to that teleportation circle. We left off where you guys were exiting the shop, having wrapped up with Wulfric asking all your questions, learning a little bit more about the party members that you have been traveling with as well. Dilbert in particular.
Crazy.
Crazy, man.
Sipping piss. Sorry.
Thanks, man. You guys are now exiting to head where?
Godsforge.
Okay. I would like somebody to roll an investigation check for me, please.
I think I got.
I don't know.
You know
I actually
what?
don't
Val, roll me an investigation
Do it,
check.
Val.
Do it.
Oh, it's
Go.
going to shoot. Do it, pussy. Oh, hang on.
Just do it anyway.
Oh, yeah, I can just do this.
Do it, you wouldn't.
Whoa.
Pussy.
Don't
What?
even
Dice is
have
cool.
your
Ah,
dice out.
14.
Shameful.
Yeah, I don't have
Shameful.
mine dice
14.
out.
14's pretty good.
While you're out here.
I will say, as you make your way through the vats, kind of leaving behind Wulfric, when you can already hear the kind of, and then the from his shop
That guy's so cool.
through the open windows, you guys make your way through these narrow alleyways, seeing some of the same kind of jagged Gothic architecture with the flying buttresses, the vaulted ceilings, some of the covered walkways that stretch between balconies and different shop fronts. You ask around to be pointed into the right direction of the God's Forge, and you eventually find yourselves back at that similar staircase. But there was a lift that had been pointed out to you by June, which many people seem to use as a means of getting down to this level of the vats. However, there is a separate kind of hallway that bears those same vaulted ceilings and flying buttresses across the top of the walkway, and you make your way into a circular chamber that appears to have the same sort of contraption that you'd seen your horses being taken down. You can see that it's a platform that's surrounded by a drop down below. The platform itself seems to be held up by a large metallic device that appears to have a smaller insert, almost like a tube, and you assume that's how it drops down. There appears to be a central kind of a central section that's cawed out to let the platform drop, so it's kind of like a donut shape. There appears to be no one operating the lever at the moment. What do you guys want to do?
Are we kind of just hijacking this lift?
It looks like just like a lift, and we know it heads to the God's Forge.
You're Dwarvish?
Yeah.
There are a couple of signs. The chamber itself is decorated with motifs of Maya. There are large reliefs that kind of bear his image and different kind of aspects of his creation. You can see there's the story of him casting the tooth into creating a dragon, and large soaring dragons that kind of spread their way in an arc across the side of this circular chamber and wrap around to see Maya.
Dragons are made of teeth?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Dubit's
So-
going on about the lore of dragons while we're walking.
Okay.
Essentially, I'm not going to read the whole thing again, but essentially, Maya, after a siege, was so enraged that he wanted to make his own kind of weapons or defenders. And he cast a tooth into a vat and forged prototypes of dragons, but they were a bit too savage and vicious. And then eventually, Asanitas contributed as well a bit of wisdom and spawned dragons, which are wise but powerful creatures. And that's how dragon lore is roughly made in Cthulhu. But I'm happy to send you guys some more notes. I think I sent the dragon lore doc in there at some point, but I'm happy to send it again. Happy to go over.
No, I've definitely got it.
But yeah, you can see that the dragons are kind of spread across the inside of the circular chamber, and the large image of Maya, typically depicted as humanoid. It's hard to make out any specific other details about the individual, other than that he's heavy-set, stocky, with kind of bulging biceps, not necessarily cut like a warrior, but cut like somebody who forges and has the strength to forge for hours upon hours upon hours at a time.
Dubit's being like, do you guys know we create dragons out of teeth?
Wow.
Really?
Basically just saying what Holly just said, but in a fanboyish way.
So is there any obvious signage as to how to use this lift? Okay.
With, there's no obvious signage, but you do notice that carved into the top part of this relief, you can see that there is a sign that says, the God's Forge.
Get on the lift, guys.
Well,
Do you know how to use it?
Does it move
Yes,
by
it's-
itself?
No, there's a lever that I've got to pull.
You specifically.
I'll run real quick back to it. Either that or I'll jump.
Wait, is the lever in the lift or is it like far away?
You roll a perception check for me.
You'll jump
Yeah, to the lift.
to the lift,
Well, either
but
that-
if you miss,
24.
I
You
don't
don't see a lever.
Did I thought you described a lever in your opening thing.
No.
Do I see like the way the lift functions?
Did you not say
You can see that there's a... I don't think I did. If I
No.
did, that's my apologies.
Yeah.
But there's no lift that's visible to you all. There is a piston-like attachment to the lift that looks like it drops down around a rod of some sort.
So,
Like a large cylindrical
okay.
tube.
And
So-
there's not like a
yeah.
desk where someone would be
No, there
standing.
appears
It's
to
not
be... No.
there. Okay.
It appears to just be an open chamber with
So if we-
like a gap around this.
So this-
Theoretically, if we walk in there, it will activate.
I was about to say,
Who knows?
in character, can I just
So-
like, do you want me
You
to
can
just try
give it a
walking on
shot.
See what happens?
Wait,
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
is it like as if the lift was down at the God's Forge currently and might come back up later?
No.
No, okay.
It appears to be flush with the surface of the stone.
So
Okay.
Val, I vote that we all walk on there, but you go first.
Sure. I'll walk on there
Sure.
first.
You step on. You can feel it kind of give slightly, and there's a thrum underneath your feet.
I do what goes on
Yeah, we
as
should
soon as
all
that
get on.
he hears the sound.
Okay,
I
you all
wanna
step
walk
on.
He goes, guys, don't worry, it's safe. Val's still alive.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm hesitating a bit, but I'll stay.
After hearing what
You
I
all-
said.
Yeah, you all cross this little bridge that's kind of attached to it. All of you are making your moves across.
How sturdy?
June, you look like you're not going to.
No, I will. I will. I make the move with the rest of them.
Sure. All of you kind of move around this space. You wait for another second or two. And then you hear it kind of...
Oh,
And you watch as the stone begins to drop slowly down.
I thought you were going to say it
Around
goes
the
like.
center.
It's like we all just fall.
Yeah.
Lego's out.
And you're back.
It's just a
You
bomb
guys-
that we're in.
I got this one move. It's crazy.
It compresses like gunpowder into a location and then explodes.
Yeah, Wolfric spin just.
We actually have to go
creating
up to go to the God's Forge. It's like a lift, but it uses explosives like a rocket to go
Yeah.
up.
bombs. It's like a rocket.
It's a cannon.
We're gonna win the chocolate factory.
You guys begin to move down into this space, and eventually, after about 60 feet or so, you see light that's kind of emerging underneath the bottom of this lift, like kind of around the gaps on the side. It appears to be a dull purple in colour. It kind of extends upwards as the closer and closer you get. You go 100 more feet, 50 more, and then eventually you feel it begin to slow. As you reach 200 feet down, it goes as it slows to a stop, and then eventually it drops again, very, very slowly, and you see rising up beneath you, the walls of the lift are gone, and you guys are just on this platform, extending down this tube into a wide open space.
Whoa.
At the center of it, you can see a large pit of bubbling magma.
Oh dear.
2 buckets of molten ore kind of suspended across the side. One appears to be tipped in as if it's just been kind of pouring something into a cast that you can see on a large octagonal platform that is again suspended by heavy chains, similar to the ones that you'd seen on the top level of the vats. They were kind of above those small rectangular pools. Everything in here appears to be ornately carved, similar reliefs to the chamber above. However, these ones appear to be made out of crystal. There are large kind of jagged pieces that kind of rise up out of the ground. These crystalline structures, purples, greens, some of them seem to glow faintly, bioluminescent, as it mixes with this dull red glow from the magma that's still kind of bubbling away gently in the center of this chamber. Along the outside, the reliefs are carved into the floor as well, and every step that you take forward, these crystals seem to kind of reflect back up at you images of Maya creating dragons that kind of gently seem to circle around, as if by an arcane enchantment, around the bottom section of this chamber. You guys move forward. The bioluminescent crystals and the crystals that make the outside of this chamber seem to glow and reflect back at you. And every step that you take, your footsteps seem to light up with an arcane glow, marking as you move forward. You can see a small bridge attached to the front side of this octagonal platform. It's about 80 feet across. The chamber itself, probably about 150 feet. And these large obelisks of crystals seem to just faintly thrum. Arcane energy seems to be all around you. You can feel it kind of inhabiting your space. You feel invigorated. It feels sacred, hallowed. Everything is quiet. The only sound making in the space, the of your steps as you cross the crystal. It kind of bounces across the space. What do you guys do?
This is where he did it, guys.
Is there
This is
anyone
where
else?
it happened.
Is there anyone else here?
You don't see anybody else. The space appears to be completely empty, save for an anvil that you notice, and a small kind of rack of instruments to the side. They appear to have pokers, quenchers.
You're describing them now. That was
Yeah.
going to be my question.
They're forging materials. You guys can see a small hammer that's kind of rested on top of the anvil, ready to create.
This is the place, guys. This has to be where it happened.
Wait, what happened?
What do you mean? What happened? This is where he made the dragons.
As you begin to speak, Dilbert, you can hear your voice kind of ricocheting off the walls. And it appears to be bouncing with light across these crystals.
Ooh.
And you watch as it kind of back towards you,
That's so cool.
almost like a boomerang.
That's cool.
If I... Maybe that's a little bit chaotic, so I'm not going to do it actually. I was going to draconic cry,
Oh my god.
but I'm not going to.
This is where my imagined dragons.
This is... this is where he's done it. Anyways.
I want to be in this space and make the.
Right, yeah.
What the fuck? Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
Great
yo.
song.
This is kind of cool.
I'm like fanboying. I'm like ahead of everyone, like going like, come on.
This is unlike anything you've ever seen, Dilbert. Like, the reliefs, for sure, in the upper part of the chamber, carved into stone, were cool, but they're nothing like sheer walls of crystal, of all different colours, and these obelisks that kind of stretch up, out. The ceiling itself appears to have almost stalactites. Like, it looks like a geode that's kind of been carved into, with these sharp, jagged crystals that kind of extend down towards you. It gives off a faint light that contributes to the purple glow that kind of stretches outwards.
Would I have read about this?
Roll a history check for me.
I don't get advantage because I'm a dragon nerd. No, I'm fishing for advantage. I don't need it. I rolled an 18.
Sure.
Yeah, 18.
You've heard, sort of, about the God's Forge. You've read many things about how people have created some of the most important advancements that have been made in not just the Prussian Empire's history, but Cathoran history in general. There are rumours that some of the individuals that created Arkanoids as a concept began here.
I'm poke A9. I'm like, A9, did you know that this is where the first Arkanoid?
Yeah, so this is where they were created as a concept.
This is where you were made. Maybe your kind.
You were beta tested.
Do I?
Oh.
I have an alpha model.
Your ancestors were made here.
Do I know?
You can roll a history check as well.
This is so exciting.
You have your character.
I've got +7 to history. That was
Oh
kind
my
of cool.
god. +7?
Can you read the top number well enough?
Yeah.
No, it was cocked. Then I moved the dice box and it landed on a 17.
There you go.
I can roll it again.
No, but I mean,
Dice Christ.
I'm gonna trust you on this one. I don't think you were.
It was a dodgy roll.
It was a dodgy roll, but it wasn't.
I
James did not maliciously knock it to a 17.
Sure. No, just keep the 17. It's okay.
So that's 24 with my.
Let us get the law.
You've heard of the God's Forge for sure. You haven't read as much as Dilbert has in terms of this being a stronghold for Maya and a kind of a bastion for creation. But you have heard that Sandro Galtazar, who first created the Arkanoids and metal golems, so to speak, went on almost like a pilgrimage to different areas of creation, of technological advancement, different places where he could source materials and experimented with them. Settled on Slaint as being the material for enchantment, and you believe that he received a divine vision to go to the God's Forge to test out his theories of how to create an Arkanoid. And this is where he first came up with the concept of a metallic humanoid that was enchanted. Created some small prototypes of things here, spent a bit of time in the God's Forge. I would say that's probably as much as you know, but he was supported by his benefactor in Anharos Fenrol.
So this is like the birthplace of like the first Arkanoids. Wait,
The first dragons.
Hey, nine. I see the tools and all, and like the anvil down below. Like,
Big upgrade.
I was gonna say, hey, do you want me to give you an upgrade?
Get on that anvil.
I think I'm a fair bit more sophisticated than a sword.
We hit you with the hammer, and you just like go.
No, worse than he just like falls to pieces.
He just hit by the hammer and just gets a concussion.
And regardless, the Arkanoids made here were not
Can-
as
are we-
sophisticated as modern Arkanoids.
Wow.
But you're very sophisticated.
I was not made here, correct?
You were not made here, no. This is not. This is where prototypes were tested, but you know that he went back to.
Are we at the pedestal yet?
I don't know. Have you guys been walking forward?
I'm
Yes.
assuming, yeah.
Okay, sure. If
Would-
you guys are walking forward, then yeah.
Would Abelard, coming from a highly religious society, know the appropriate way to approach such like an altar? Is there like a more? Is there like a reverential way where you're meant to treat like a holy site like this?
Well, from what you've heard from Wulfric as well, generally people don't utilize the God's Forge. Of course, people will come down and try and get their own inspiration from the area. It's beautiful in a sacred, inspiring type of way. But generally people don't actually craft here until they have a divine vision. From what you can see, the hammer, as you guys get closer, appears to be entirely made of what looks like a solid gold and carved up the handle.
So it's
It's-
decorative.
You'd have to get closer to inspect it.
Can I
but-
inspect it after this?
And then tangle.
From what you know, and probably I'd say Val maybe as well, and so Abelard, A9, Val probably, and Kruger. Gold is not a normal material because it is considered quite soft.
I was gonna say, with my knowledge in like blacksmithing, I could assume that that's more of just an ornate and more of a presentation rather than actual like.
You would
use for
assume
crafting.
so, but it seems strange that they'd have just an ornate hammer in a forge like this.
Does it?
June picks it up.
You're
Wait.
stepping up onto the God's
Wait.
Forge.
Yeah.
Can I ask more questions before we start acting things?
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say June's already said that they're gonna step up onto the
Wait,
platform.
I wouldn't do that. Oh,
You
okay.
begin to ascend these crystalline steps.
I was gonna do that.
Oh,
I was on a platform. It's not.
You begin. So it's on a suspended octagon.
Can I attempt to say to no wait? And just a law-based question: are there consequences for desecrating or touching a god's holy site without express permission?
Roll a religion check.
June's gonna die.
June, as you step up onto the platform, you immediately feel your muscles seize for a moment.
Oh.
You stop, wait, all of your joints kind of locking into place.
22 on the religion check.
You push forward, your limbs feel heavy.
She's just like, yes.
As you stand on the platform, you reach out to go and touch the hammer. You wrap around the handle. You try to lift, and it's stuck onto the anvil.
I'm not worthy, guys.
Roll a strength check.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Brute force it.
Yeah, so that's -2 for 8.
So with an 8, your limbs still feeling heavy and still feeling kind of shock waves throughout your body. You go to lift, you struggle and push and try and lift, your veins kind of popping in your neck slightly as you strain against it. And I'm going to get you to roll a con save for me.
I got awful con. No, actually, we're fine. That's 14.
That is a fail, and you suffer 10 points of lightning damage. Actually, no, sorry. Zeus! Fire damage.
Oh, well, in that case, only 5 points.
22 on the religion check.
With a 22, not all gods and their altars or temples are specifically safeguarded. Generally, it is amongst religious sects and people. No. Religious groups and people who follow specific religions. You know that it's thought of as almost a disgraceful thing to enter a space like this that is so specifically for creation and divine vision that there might be consequences. It'll generally just be that you might have offended the divine entity that rules over the space.
I imagine almost yelling in what could be imagined as a very much a last sort of straw kind of temper thing. It is very much, June, what are you doing?
I picked it up.
What? This is a sacred space. You are disregarding the divine. It is disrespectful. It is incredibly disrespectful. It is genuinely...
Quiet in the library, please.
June, get the fuck down from there immediately. This is beyond insane. This is stupid. This is wrong on so many levels.
Not particularly.
It is disrespectful. It is
Genuinely, it is a
bordering on desecration. You have no right to be up there in such a space as sacred and holy as this.
Abelard, your traditions are silly.
Right?
Kruger goes behind Nadria and we're like, I'm not getting involved in this.
I touched a hammer. It is a forge.
You took fire damage.
Yeah, I
This is not just a forge. This is a sacred site. If you were in Luthrothia, there would be serious consequences for just desecrating things and doing what you wish in sites such as this. There was no hesitation, there was no reverence, there was no offering made to Maya. It was just you doing what you want. Some gods look very poorly on this behavior. This is...
You are a simp and a coward. And I leave the altar because it is no longer useful.
As you stand on the altar with Abelard yelling at you, you go to move and you can't.
This does not change our situation.
This is consequences.
Yes.
You need to beg for forgiveness.
No.
You need to ask to be forgiven by the gods, the people who staff this temple, and maybe they may let you go if you pay some form of tribute.
If I could move my hand, I would make an L shape. I want you to know that.
Oh no,
June, you suffer 15 points of fire damage.
June, you're gonna
That
die.
is additional to the 10 from before.
Is that already halved?
No.
Okay.
So
June, I think you just pissed off the fire and creation god.
There are presence,
Go-
a divine
Yeah.
presence around right now.
Do anyone
As
deal
June
with
went to pick up the hammer, you feel like the arcane thrum that's just kind of been gently rolling in the background seems to stagnate.
Better to die on your feet than the other thing on your knees.
June, don't die on this hill. It's not worth it.
It's an altar, not a hill.
Can we see
At least let me be the
June
suicidal.
unable to move? Like, can we is that kind of like frozen in place,
I don't know.
or is it like
June's
Kinda
kind of at the precipice of the platform, trying to head off, and just appears to be stuck in place. You can see like faint straining of muscle, but doesn't seem to be able to pass down.
Can I move backwards back onto the platform, or am I fully paralyzed?
You're still on the platform.
But am I like paralyzed, or am I like...
You can move on the platform.
Oh, okay. Then I step back onto the platform. Well, I'll catch you guys.
You might just want to say you're sorry?
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
If you want to get
Val's-
off the altar
Val's got the right idea.
alive,
Can I tell if it's arcane or divine? The whatever this force is.
Roll an Arcana check.
Gods are just another force of control. They're no better than a stronger man.
Yeah, very, very strong man.
25.
25? You don't think this is... I mean, everything that is divine is thought of as arcane in some way. This is definitely some sort of divine sanctum, you gather, and there are certain powers at work that appear to be divine here.
Would Abelard know? This is Lachlan asking as a player, as a person who knows the rough DNA law. The gods are typically manifestations of the natural world and like the kind of nature and elements of the world. Would Abelard know that the gods are manifestations of that?
Probably, yeah.
In response to June saying that the gods are not some form of control, they are manifestations of our world and planes. It is not just... Rileron is not just some king. He is a manifestation of the magic of the dream plane and the lunar circles. They are not just a ruler.
When you build a house, when you heal, are you not in exact disrespect?
What?
There's...
What are you talking about?
I feel like this is a lot coming from someone who is currently stuck on top of an altar and is too proud to pronounce that they are wrong and that they are unwilling to back down and apologize to the divine they have disrespected. If you just broke into someone's home and they were angry at you,
This
it
is not their home.
It quite literally is.
It feels like.
This is where my
suffer
R
from
is the strongest of any
Not
place.
Not half.
Thanks. That helps my math
So
a lot
half
more.
to 7.
Wait, so so I still need to half. Okay.
This is quite literally where my R is the strongest. Is that true?
Yeah.
This is a sanctum. Could you not feel the raw energy surrounding you of the power of the divine?
As you guys stand here arguing at this sacred space that was so peaceful and quiet before, you notice that reflected in the crystals, there's a kind of a center of energy that appears to, almost like a ball, kind of revolve around the outside, traveling with the voices and kind of spinning across, bouncing off to different parts of the crystal. The platform itself appears to be not shifting necessarily, but it seems to be bright with light.
Is this ball that's like bouncing around, is it getting like movement becoming more pronounced, I guess, or
As the voices raise, it does become more pronounced.
So our talking is making this worse.
Yep. And you notice that the magma underneath the platform is just kind of bubbling even more than it was before.
I don't think this is the right place
yeah,
to be having such an
Is
argument.
this noticeable?
Yeah. I would say most of you even.
Dilbert gets down on to he into a kneeling position and like silently just starts to, I don't know, kind of beg my R for the.
Sure, what do you say?
I don't know if I say it out loud.
Yeah, in your
But
head.
it kind of along the lines of like, I'm sorry. Out of all the places where chaos could have come about, this is probably not it. I know that chaos is quite apparent in this group, but I apologize that it's manifested itself here.
Roll a religion check for me.
Ooh, Dilbert.
13.
With a 13, I'll say that you wait for a moment and you can see beneath where you're kneeling, energy seems to kind of converge in the space. And you watch as it glows brighter for a second. And you feel as if there's a fire inside that's kind of spreading across your body. You think you might have been heard.
I continue to hold my silence. and wishes for forgiveness.
The rest of you
As-
watch as Dilbert's kind of just silently kneeling in the space. You guys don't notice a growth in any light around Dilbert.
I'm responding to A9's previous comment. I'm just like, I agree. This is the wrong place to be having an argument. It is just frustrating sometimes, the insolence and disrespect against the divine. And then Abelard
You
is going
suffer
to.
12 more points of damage.
Thank you for
Half to
making
6.
it easily dividable.
But Abelard is going to follow Dilbert's footsteps and also kneel down in prayer to Maya. It is reverential, but it is not worship.
Sure.
Does
Just an apology.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
That's kind of the vibe I was going for as well.
you said there was no intensity of this light around Dilbert? Is there a noticeable lack of intensity?
Like a decrease
Around-
in craziness.
As you guys have kind of dropped your voices, the ball still seems to kind of be gently orbiting around the platform. The platform itself doesn't seem to be decreasing at all. It still very much seems to be bright with whatever presence has been called to this space.
Furthermore, if someone did break into my house, if someone did pick up anything of mine, I still don't think that's good enough measure to kill them.
Abelard stops responding and is very clearly focused on prayer.
Sure.
Abelard is like wearing a mask, but like through like kind of like the glass kind of eye holes, you see kind of like a very furrowed eyebrow and like a cold rage. It is like he is legitimately angry about this disrespect. It is, to him, it is viewed as, I suppose, heresy is like the best word. It is like, it is in opposition to what he stands for as a person. It is a direct kind of insult on his people and their practices, and the insults towards their approach to life he is taken extraordinarily personally.
If you can find it within you, tell my parents I never truly forgave them.
Oh.
What?
Oh my god.
You suffer 13 more points.
Is
Halved to 6.
okay. June, come on, man, just say you're sorry and then we can talk about this not in a sacred temple place.
June, you begin to feel the magma almost seeming to overflow onto this platform. To the rest of you, it doesn't look like there's any kind of change necessarily, more than the raging, bubbling magma that you see before you. But June, it seems to spill over the side of the platform and almost seem to extend towards you. I'd like you to roll a wisdom save for me, please.
Oh no. Oh no. A 9.
You are frightened.
Oh, may I take the form of dread,
Sure. What does that do?
immune to the frightened condition.
Okay. You begin to attempt to get in touch with the entity that has been granting you this horrific disposition. And it seems not to take in this space. You are still frightened.
Ooh, you have no power in God's domain, bitch.
Visibly sweating then.
Okay.
Starting to freak out.
You watch as the magma begins to slough over the side.
Can
More
I?
and more, almost like a raging tidal wave. It begins to spread towards your feet.
And is it only June can see this?
Only
Like,
June can
the
see
Can
this.
magma
I
looks short.
shut my eyes?
Sure, you can shut your eyes. You're still frightened.
Yeah, just like
Hey,
under the bed sort of.
Dilbert,
You close your eyes and begin to feel as if the heat is kind of prickling against your skin.
Dilbert, whatever you're about to say, Dilbert probably won't have a visible response.
maybe we should go and maybe. Hey, Mayar, I get you pissed him off, but maybe he can repent out of your sacred temple. Do I have
Another 10
permission to move
points.
him?
Another 10 points after 5.
I continue. Can I continue my
Yeah.
prayer? Apology. I say, kind of still silent, trying to focus, like hearing what's around me, but not really paying much heed to it. I'm like, look, I know you probably are familiar with chaos in some regard because fire is inherently chaotic as a medium, but can you... There is a lot of pride in this party, and I
Happy June.
I don't I apologize that it's spilled out here. I don't think that it's the right course of action to take it out in a form of aggression.
Roll another religion check for me.
Can I give help action
What would you like to do?
through my apologetic prayer as well?
Oh, what are you saying?
I am apologizing for bringing June in here. I am apologizing for not having enough control. I'm apologizing for raising my voice in such a sacred space. And I think, it's mainly apologizing for bringing June in here, knowing June's disposition towards religion and the gods.
You, Abelard, as you're making this prayer, you feel the comforting aura, almost, of your god kind of in the space with you, acknowledging that this might not be worship, but approving of your apologetic prayer. You can roll with advantage.
Hey. Yes. Have a
Which
D20.
one?
Yeah,
I
have a
only
D20
got to have
next
one.
Have a D20.
Stress.
Oh!
20. Nat 20. Tip for a 20.
As you close your eyes, Gilbert, you begin to feel that same fire that had kind of spread comforting begin to rage inside. You feel it kind of prickling across your skin, erupting through your veins, and as you're focusing, you wait for a moment. And you hear in your mind the roar of a fire, louder, brighter than any fire you've ever seen, imagined before. Hotter than dragon's breath. This is all-consuming, mind-numbingly painful, almost. But it brings you a strange comfort as well. Maya is the god of fury and fire. Forges, blacksmithing, king of dragons. Messing with this deity and trying to get this deity to back off by reasoning with the deity of fury, a difficult challenge. As this fire kind of wraps through your brain, you feel it drop off for a second, and it goes back to being that same calming warmth of sitting around a campfire with people that you love. And you feel a strange sense of inspiration. You wait another moment. June, you feel your limbs slacken. And then all of a sudden, you are very visibly shunted off the platform. You kind of scatter to the ground. And you take another 7 points of harm. That is halved.
Oh, dead.
You're
You watch as
unconscious.
June is
Thank
thrown
God,
off the
holy
platform.
shit.
Your head kind of cracks against the side.
Delicious.
And June's face just slackens.
Is that
Not dead, but
Or
unconscious.
death saving?
Dead saving.
Avalard is gonna go up And can I roll a medicine check specifically to stabilize June?
Sure.
But not bring
Whilst you're doing this,
It's a 22 on the medicine check.
With a 22, I'll say that you can stabilize
I'm
June.
gonna say, if June does not wish for the magic of the divine, then June cannot have it. I am done with this pride, and I'm gonna just look at Kruger. Do you mind carrying him out of here?
Yeah, that was very intense. Sure. And I'll just.
Ultimately,
Dilbert hasn't moved.
Gilbert, as you're kind of fixed to the spot, still kneeling, you look around the space and you notice that the ball that had been kind of orbiting gently around the space, you look up from it, it kind of soothes slightly. Still active, and the footsteps still kind of as being carried out. You notice that there appears to be a patch of the crystalline wall that shimmers differently. Appears to be a fire kind of crackling behind it. Almost looks like a doorway.
I don't know if I'm speaking out loud now.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can hear anything that I'm saying, but thank you. I know how calming a fire can be and how dangerous at the same time. And I appreciate that you've taken the form that you've decided with now.
Having created a connection with this divine entity, you thank it, and that kind of warm energy that was just crackling gently turns inviting. Warm. Inspiring.
Almost. Arwad doesn't see like the door or anything like that, but kind of leaving with kind of June and Kruger, he kind of puts like an arm on Dilbert's shoulder and just kind of says, "You did good. I feel like I do not get to say that enough, but you did good, and you can take as long as you wish to stay in here. I trust you with this space. You seem to respect it." And then
I can I respond without
Yeah.
breaking a connection?
Yeah.
Out of the corner of my eye, I kind of don't look away from the image in the crystal that I'm kind of fixated upon, but I'm like, I know I mess around, but something about this place and this presence has fixated on me in a way that I haven't felt before since the first time I saw a dragon.
I will kind of respond to that, but like, maybe you understand why I am so comforted by the run now. I would suggest that you follow it. They typically lead to at least interesting events.
I am starting to understand.
I kind of go like, I would suggest you listen to it. The divine are typically much more wise than we can ever be.
Dilbert continues to.
And then we'll head out with the unconscious Jew.
Just us two.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
yeah.
no,
Dilbert's
I'm
Dilbert's not fun anymore. no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Sure, so who's heading out, who's staying in the
Well,
space?
I guess I'm carrying June.
I'm following Kruger.
I'll be asking Nadra for help because obviously, how tall is June? Like 5 something?
Close to 6.
Okay, yeah, a 2'6" carrying a 6 foot tall
But
tiefling
weak.
is a bit awkward. So
I-
like,
I am weak. I'm not.
yeah, but I'm small. I physically don't have like the mass to like hold you up.
Two fingers.
Yeah. So like, I'd be like, I'd
It's
get
like
you,
a religious scene right now.
If you could like,
carried out of the shrine.
if you could like just grab the legs like that, I can like take most of the upper body weight like that. Yep. Okay. All right. I'll
As you
back
guys strain and struggle with June kind of lying unconscious in your arms, you watch as the steps that you take now they almost seem to, the arcane energy, rather than just kind of gentle impression of footsteps as it goes across the crystal. Each step that you take with June, now that you've lifted them up into your arms, appears to kind of crack slightly. Fissures kind of spreading out from the footsteps.
Anti-religion.
Did we see June briefly go? Did we see June go into their form of dread?
Or try to.
Oh, okay. So it was outright. So the form was outright rejected in this holy space.
Yes.
Cool.
That's
That's
a
it.
fart or.
You, roll a religion check for me.
Well, I'll stay
Sure.
with I'm kind of just marveling at the space I'm in.
Cool.
Can anyone else see?
7.
Sorry, can anyone else see the image that I'm looking at?
You don't think so?
Okay.
Nobody's mentioned it.
Okay, cool.
I assume we didn't
Sorry,
notice it at all.
I did mean to.
I think we're also focused on June.
Yeah, right.
Away from the mic.
Thank you, June. You allowed this to happen. I'm grateful.
That is really cool.
I found God.
Can't make it any more clever.
No.
As June exits the space, the energy with June in the space, now that there was such an offense to the gods that only seemed to be more, to be aggravated further, as June argued in this. What you assume and what you've read and what you've heard is that this is a very, very sacred space in Runaway. It is thought to be the hold of Maya. And blaspheming in this space, the previously warm, comfortable space kind of dropped almost in temperature. And then, like a raging inferno as they stood on the platform, arguing with Abelard, attempting to lift the hammer, with no divine inspiration, the temperature rose to a point where it was almost painful. For a lot of you that are wearing armor, kind of prickling against your skin. As June is carried out, it goes back to being warm and comfortable for A9, Val, and Dilbert, who are still in this space. Do you guys ascend the lift, or you're just staying in the space?
I will be like,
Can we just drop him here? He's kind of awkward.
can we drop him on the lift?
Yeah, that's fine.
I do not
That's
want
fine.
him in this space anymore.
Thank
I
you.
will wait upstairs with him.
And I thought my day was crazy.
I don't know if I would consider it the hold of Maya now that I've been there. More the held of
Are you
Maya.
still...
He's still unconscious. I
just
did
wanted
not.
to get that one out.
I did not. I very specifically
Did not
use any healing magic.
Mm.
And I will say now that Abelard is so livid, he is tossing up whether or not he will be using any form of divine magic on June, which involves Abelard's healing.
Sure.
Abelard is livid.
Yeah.
I will. This is Lachlan saying explicitly now. Abelard won't say it. It is still in consideration, but when I will say to Krieger and Andre, if you guys wish to stay in this space, I'm more than happy for you to. I will take June upstairs and I will wait upstairs for you.
And I'll kill him.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, the god of blacksmiths and creation is kind of rad. So I wouldn't mind.
I'll go up, it's fine.
I'll
Staying.
pat Krieger's shoulder. I'll be just remember to be respectful and.
Oh, okay. Actually, you both can relate to this. I was gonna tell everybody, but then all of that happened. I had a divine interaction about an hour or two ago.
Yeah.
We're all having divine interaction.
Yeah, everyone's having divine
I'm
intervention.
feeling left out.
What kind?
I pull out the pendant with the battle axe with the vines and the antler.
Do we recognize that as a holy symbol of some kind?
Roll a religion check. You can do it with advantage if you're also looking Nadria.
Yeah, I am.
Sure. Or you can roll yourself.
You can do it too.
I'm going to guidance myself as well.
Gilbert's gonna make his own divine thing on the
Not 20.
Yo.
Plus a 4. That's a 27 then.
You've read about the material plane and its various gods, divine beings. You recognize this as a warrior of the gods. Almost a messenger. An omen.
would we have anything similar on the dream plane as like warriors of the gods? Would we have like chosen warriors as well for like to relate against it? Or would it be, or is it because there are so many of us that are divine warriors, it's not as seen as special in a way?
There are definitely chosen warriors of Luron, though they are typically sent to the material plane to act as agents, especially if they come from the dream plane. So typically they won't operate in the same space.
Yeah.
And the same way that that these kinds of entities would in the material plane. It's much more... The magic within Lorothia is inherently different. It's less... It's almost less complex than all of the influences that are within the material plane itself. From what you know of arcane magic, there is a net that is woven over Cathora with all of these intersecting lines and different influences. It's thought of as the divine barrier that stops gods from going in, but it also leaves vestiges of them and divine magic that mortals will stumble across, that they can learn, that they can inhabit through prayer, through worship, those sorts of things. It's also as if the dream plane itself is only influenced by Luron in terms of magic. So having a kind of dual messenger of the gods of Keel and Canis is unusual.
I would be like to Kruger, you are extraordinarily lucky. I know many that would probably die for the opportunity to meet one of these people. This is...
Funny that. They kind of threatened to kill me.
We will discuss this.
No, like, only... do you know anything about the Omen Killer?
With 27, do I know about Omen Killer?
I would tell them about what the... Alright, so the Omen Killer is blah, 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 blah. And I would have told them, like... And then I would have told you, too, about the fight and how I got a good kid in, but they were, like, very powerful and, like... I said, like, I carry this thing called a Korsig, which is, like, a weapon or an item of divine power or something that is only, like... meant to be chosen by like the worthy to wield, and if I don't wield it correctly or if I become corrupt while wielding it, they are going to kill me.
That's a lot for one day.
You're telling me.
Anyway, I would suggest behaving responsibly.
Oh, no. But also, I got some information on the Wanderer.
Oh, wonderful.
Because I figured, like, a divine messenger would probably know about stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
That's not the Wanderer.
Oh, Chief both told me that. I told you guys.
I think I was spaced out that day.
I told you guys that he said that we can meet.
Well, the messenger definitely. Well, Ygrisa is her name. It's someone masquerading as them for certain. Because apparently, I think as you said, we would have been marked for death and would have been dead already.
Yeah.
But so they're bad news, and I kind of got the impression that if we can stop them, I mean, we should stop them anyway. But if I could stop them, I think that will be a test passed, and that in the right direction for me. So that's a nice bonus.
Well,
so that you don't get killed.
Do you mention how that they're willing to help train you and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mention everything.
Yeah, I will be like, I would suggest seizing the opportunity to learn from such a seasoned warrior as one chosen by the divine. That would be a chance in a lifetime, and you would be foolish to pass it up.
I just kind of like grab your legs. I'm like, dude, it's the Omen Killer. It's like one of the most fabled warriors in all of legend. It's rad as hell. You should have seen her battle axe. It was like, it had like vines on the handle and it like branched up all across her arms, and like then she grew like a super bright light, and then she did like the axe swing into my ribs and stuff, and like they bled like a bastard, and then there was a bright light, and then all of a sudden I was just like, ugh. And then I kind of got really angry, and then it all sort of just like phased out a little bit, but then she healed me.
I'll be like, it is. Yes. Anyway, we can discuss this later as a group. I'm going to get you out of here.
I'm leaving as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go back. I mean, maybe maybe I can make a little thing with my R's blessing, of course.
Yes, make sure you get the blessing first.
Let's start
Enjoy.
developing that.
No, I was not gonna do that anyway.
Enjoy the experience of being immersed in such a deferential space.
I mean-
it is truly a wonder to be seen.
I mean, I'm not super religious, but after the day I've had with, Ugrisa and this place, I have a lot of respect for it.
I am lucky to be one of the very few among my people to have ever seen such a space like this.
Yeah.
We do not have many other temples to other gods, and I am arguably a bit excited to see such spaces.
I wonder if my brother ever came here. And then Kruger just walks back to the rest of the group, pondering that thought.
As of note, when I get to the top with June and Adria, almost kind of, I'll move us into a corner, almost kind of out of a knee-jerk reaction. I'm gonna go on a prayer with Luron.
Sure.
Not in hopes of meeting with him or anything, but more kind of a way of coping and comfort. Well, Abelard's gonna help you move June and stuff into the corner and stuff like that, and then is gonna kind of go into prayer and stuff as a
As
comfort
you guys
thing.
ascend the lift, Abelard, you look out into this space and you feel almost a deep sadness that wells within you at the sight of such a beautiful place to you, such a place where you can understand the level of, I guess, worship, of importance that people would treat this kind of hallowed space with. Having seen it become so angry, so volatile, so quickly. It's beautiful, but it is to you at the moment hauntingly so. The crystals kind of glint slightly. The pool of magma at the top of this geode reflecting the red light up into it. It still seems to glow brightly at the top in comparison to how dull the purple glow was before. And as you ascend, you watch that purple light kind of vanish, and you feel the need all of a sudden to connect with your god, to offer worship and apologies in the best way that you know how. You guys help to move June off the platform. For the rest of you who are staying in the space, what would you like to do?
Is that in reference to me or the others?
All of you. Anything anybody wants to do?
Well, I would like to. I'm still feeling this kind of presence.
Yeah.
This kind of humbling.
Yeah, inviting, warm, crackling fire.
Do I feel as though I could approach this platform without?
You could give it a shot.
I kind of ask. I'm like, would I be presumptuous to ask to ascend this pedestal?
You feel the flames that have kind of been crackling within you seem to burn brighter for a moment,
In a
then
good
drop
way?
off. Hard to say. Might be. It's your first time communing with a
deity.
Yeah, with a deity of this sort.
I kind of ask. I'm like, if it's not too much to ask, I would greatly appreciate some kind of memento of this experience.
That same fire is still warm, comforting.
Taking that chance, I'll stand up and slowly approach
Sure.
the platform.
You look down at the crystalline structure that makes up the base of this chamber. You watch your footsteps seem to glow brighter than they had before. Is a kind of... You step up to the small set of stairs that lead up to this platform.
Kind of cautious after watching what just
Sure,
happened.
you step tentatively on the bottom step, and you feel that fire glow brightly. Not painful as it had been before when you had communed with your deity at this point in time. This one seems much more inviting, but much more intense. Almost like a very enthusiastic invitation.
Is there, just looking around, is there any like crystal or small piece of crystal around that I could take or pick up?
Everything seems relatively smooth in this space. There are small buckets of materials that are kind of stowed across this platform. There are some jagged kind of crystals in the space amongst different types of gems, garnet, sapphire. You can see some rubies there as well. You can also see that there are ingots kind of waiting to be smelted. And as you get closer, those same kind of grooves that you'd seen in the platforms above to take molten ore into the space appear to be places where you can smelt this ore ingots down to forge, create whatever you wish. If you'd like to take anything from the buckets, you could give it a shot.
Tell me if this is a bit too ambitious of me, but potentially I would like to take my staff, the Drake Tail, which is already magical in nature.
Yep.
And I'd like to lay it down on the anvil.
Yep.
And kind of like see if that has a reaction.
Doesn't seem to.
And no good or bad.
No, it just seems to be as if you've kind of gently put your staff on the anvil.
And essentially, what I'd like to do, potentially, is with one of the crystals that is around on this altar, I'd like to using the metal or the trinkets there, find a way to affix it to my staff.
How would you like to affix it to it?
I suppose in working with the kind of natural form of the staff itself, which is kind of like, it's got a bit of like a chaotic sort of form to it, kind of make little spurs of metal coming out from either the top or somewhere near that end, and kind of make it so it envelops a crystal that I would, before attaching it, like to ask for it to be, I don't know, invigorated.
Sure.
With this energy that I'm currently feeling or experiencing.
Roll a... roll either a... Actually, roll a performance check for me.
Alright.
I'll come up to Val and is Dilbert okay up there?
No, you gotta pay for the nat 20s. I got a nat 1.
Oh no.
You don't have much experience in
I was gonna say
forging or
Should've
creating.
asked last. Yeah, I know, right?
You don't feel as if the deity that you have connected with at this point in time is rejecting your ideas by any means, but it doesn't seem that they've inspired you
To control my body.
yeah, to teach you how to forge.
Yeah.
In that way.
Perhaps I was a bit too.
You don't even.
ambitious.
You're looking around. You don't even know where to start with melting the metal down to affix it.
Hey,
But you don't feel as if taking the crystal was an offense.
Well, I suppose in place of that, seeing as I have absolutely no idea how to use a forge, I kind of say, well, I mean, it was worth a shot. But I guess I'll just
What were you trying
have
to
to come back later. Or
You feel the same fire kind of flare brightly crackle.
or
You judge that, yes, maybe you should come back.
I suppose if I pick up that crystal, can I kind of just like hold it up? Or
Yeah, you're
hold
just
it
holding
out
it above the
and
stuff.
try and-
Or...
No, not above the staff. I put the staff back on my back. I kind of just attempting, like, I don't know what color this crystal is. I
What
suppose.
colour would you like it to be? There's several
Red.
different colours that you can choose.
Is there a red jagged crystal?
Yeah. There's a smaller one that's... It doesn't seem as common as the kind of purples, greens and blues, but there is a small... Almost like a cut-off of a geode.
like small, like that
Yeah.
big, or
Like that big, I'd
like
say.
small.
Yeah.
I kind of pick it up and I like focusing on this presence that I'm feeling inside. I kind of try and channel that into this to try and keep it for myself, I assume, and
Yeah.
carry it with me as a reminder of this experience and that I should come back at some point in time.
Roll a religion check for me, please. This time at advantage.
Dice, the dice.
Use a metal one.
Oh, not good. There'll be a 5. Oh no, an 8.
As you hold it in your hand, focus on it, you squeeze it tightly, and you try and channel that flame that's burning at the moment within. And it kind of courses down your arm towards the gem. You feel like the gem's grown a little bit hotter for a moment. That same energy seems to course back down your arm and kind of spread back throughout your body. Not as concentrated or focused anymore on this gem. You open it up, it doesn't seem to be changed.
I'll keep this as a reminder. And then I slowly step back down, holding this gem.
The
And-
doorway is still visible to you.
The what?
The doorway in the crystal is still visible
Oh,
to you.
true. I suppose I walk up to it and kind of put my hand on it,
Sure.
like.
What do we see?
You just see
Me.
Dilbert walking up to an indefinite point
Okay.
on the crystal wall, almost directly across from the anvil that you've just been standing at. Dilbert, you place your hand against this smooth crystal wall. You expect it to be cool. It seems to kind of thrum under your hand, warm to the touch, inviting. And you feel your hand begin to sink through.
Oh, jeez.
And that's where we're going to end
Hey!
That's terrifying.
Hey, A9 Val, what is he? Oh shit!
What is he doing?
Okay, the God's Forge is
Anything happens?
been one.
That's so cool.
The God's
That's
Forge
so
is so cool.
Run up to get
Did
you.
you guys have fun?
Yeah,
That was a pretty
That was
epic
awesome.
baller session,
That was
dude.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
Ash just
Um,
mouthed the what the fuck in the background.
I'm glad you guys had fun. I did too. We hope that everyone watching had fun as well. I think this was an interesting session. You got some lore, got some interactions with some deities, some weird moves, some inter-party tension. It's crazy.
Then I do appreciate the opportunity.
I think it'll definitely be something that we'll explore later on, but
Yeah.
an
It's
interesting move to do it in a place that you knew was hallowed. I think that was cool.
But also very fitting for the character.
Yeah, very interesting move for character, I think. I'd also just quickly like to give inspiration to you, Jack, and to you, Jude.
Oh!
A DM inspiration, feel free to
Big.
use it as you wish. I think you guys had some really cool
I've
moments.
never gotten inspiration
Yeah,
before.
inspiration.
Um,
What does it do?
DM will remember that.
Basically,
DM liked
is it an advantage at my choosing?
No, it's a D.
D8, I think.
A D8 of
yeah,
extra.
depends on the DM.
On
One-time
anything?
use?
Is it anything?
One-time
Yeah.
use.
Wait, so you can add it to an attack roll or to a damage
yeah, whatever
roll?
you like.
I'm
to.
pretty sure
Oh,
it's just
Not
free.
damage.
I don't think it's damage.
I think
it's
it's
just
any-
your rolls like attack.
Ability and saves.
Using inspiration,
Right,
you
yeah.
have inspiration, you can expand it.
Anyway,
Make an attack
we
roll.
hope you guys had fun
Yeah.
watching.
So not-
I
not
think we all
bit
had
of
fun at the table tonight.
Yeah.
Yes,
And we
very
made
much
some interesting moves forward in our story. Hopefully, we get some interesting moves forward in the next session as well. I'm excited to see where it goes.
That's so
Just a quick reminder that if you'd like to catch up on anything that you might have missed, please do go and check out the links in our description below to go to our YouTube channel where we have all of our archive videos for Lockie's campaign, my campaign, Xander's new campaign that they're starting DMing, and the one-shots as well. It's always a pleasure, never a chore to DM for you all. Much love, everyone, and we will see you guys in the next time. Bye. Right now,
Ciao.